Yes. Peace, man. What's up? All powers to oppressed people, African power to an African people, black power, it's your brother. Yang and Krumah. You know who I'm rocking with. You see who's beside me. It's the doll. What's revolutionary agenda.
Agenda. Yeah, the revolutionary agenda.
Listen, I had Max Stanford on my mind thinking Revolutionary Action Report.
That's carry on. Yeah. Hey, everybody. Did you cut out? What happened? You got muted or something.
Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Everything always goes on when you're on live. Give me give me a couple minutes if you can hold it down for 1 second.
Yeah. Hold on, fella. Let me just make sure I can see everybody. Um, I can't see you guys because I don't ever look at the StreamYard. I don't ever look at the YouTube and see what I'm doing. So now that I am, it's be a lot easier. Okay, great.
All right, I'm back with us, man. Sorry about
Okay.
that. The delays. That's all good. It's real life.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, no introductions needed. It's my girl Doll. Let me shout that out again. Revolutionary Agenda.
Yep.
And I can't forget my man Che and Krumah. You got to check out that Frontline Black News. Like I said, you snoozing if you ain't check my peoples out and check what they're putting out there as far as informing the people, really keeping us up on game. You know what I'm saying? And that's super important because there are a lot of suckers out here. So you want to be able to get that true information so that you can distinguish from the truth. You know where I rock out of, man. I'm straight out of that Queen Nandy's camp. Check out Sister Nandi 3GP. Subscribe and like her thing.
Mm-hmm.
And you're not familiar with how it go down at the camp. You know, only thing I can say is if you a sucker where your heart if you are anti progressive black, wear your hard hat. You know,
Shit.
that's
Ugh. Don't go in there fucking around, man. Get tore up.
exactly. That's how that goes down. You know what I'm saying? Man, with that being said, I'm glad to be able to bring this presentation from P.EC, from People's Education Committee, Panthers
Mm-hmm.
Education Committee, Powerful Education Committee, Progressive Education Committee, whatever that P may mean to you. I'm glad to bring this presentation. I'm glad to do it with my partner, my comrade, who understands the importance of these type of presentations. And why
Yeah.
am I going to, right? You
Yeah.
agree? Yeah,
Yeah. I
yeah.
mean, it's needed, especially right now. We're in a time of war. A lot of people, they're just not. They're just either consciously sleeping on the fact that we've been at war for a long time anyway. Who the oppressor is, if it's us, if it's them, it's what we're, who we are, whatever. What side of the playing field we're on. They got the comfortable inside Negroes. They got the comfortable running for freedom. Fucking, we're out there. You know what I
Right.
mean? And at this point in time, since we are, Panther minded, Yuri,
Right. Yeah.
revolutionary minded,
Yeah.
liberation minded,
Mm-hmm.
black nationalist minded. We should really look back at certain things. And I presented this idea to you because I thought that who better to talk about this than you. And we have a little dialogue, but also too, because people are not aware. Sometimes you just got to go back in time and just replay, some of the things that we, might have been missing or a little mistake here and there to do better. Better.
I think it's important to give that proper narrative. What's happened, why these suckers are able to get away with the bullshit that they're
Yeah.
passing off and masquerading as liberation teachings or motivational black promoting black excellence,
Right.
why they're able to get away with that is because our history has largely been hidden. Revolutionary history, that is, liberation history, that is, has largely been hidden, or it's a revisionist history. It's rewritten. And so you can have these people spitting bullshit right in your face.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that look you dead in your face and seem as sincere as anyone, and be spitting the most outlandish understatement. Outlandish is giving it justice, but be spitting the most destructive rhetoric towards black people that you could, that a lot of times you would hear. And I think what throws me is it's coming from people who look like me. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? I mean, it's hard to look at somebody who looks like you, who knows, who goes through the exact same treatment that you go through, whom is shit,
uh-huh.
subjugated to everything that being black brings in America, and they will sit here and champion a system of bullshit or blame the victim.
Yeah,
Blame the
and that's
victim.
the thing. We can't really do that no more.
You
We're at a
can't
time where we can't do it.
No, you can't blame the victim. And here's why one of the things when I say blame the victim, it's one thing if you're blaming people who know they've been victimized. If they're doing the over victimization, if they're just, oh, woe is me. Black people don't even know they've been damn victimized.
No,
We've been so victimized and traumatized that it is an everyday part of life.
we get
We
victimized with the confusion too. I mean, there's so much fucking confusion. Every time I turn on a podcast, I'm just as confused with what I want to listen to, what my intuition wants, or whatever, or what's the right thing to do. Just by every fucking podcast is motherfucking confusing.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
got religious conversations in politics. You got politics and religion. Come on, how late it's then you got the you bring back the ancestral stuff. It's like, God, man, I just try to stay one lane.
Well, you got to know what you're looking for. Like that's why I said, man, definitely again, shout out to my camp. You know what I'm saying, Queen Nundy's camp. You got to know what you're looking for. Like at the camp, it's everything. It's
Yeah.
just largely black nationalists. But if you can be religious black nationalist, capitalist black nationalist. I'm a revolutionary or modern black nationalist. It's all type of black nationalists over there, which I love about the campground. Now, what we're trying to um, do at the campground is to stamp the dominance of pragmatic or modern black nationalism, which means you put the best interests of black people first. You don't
Hmm.
put your God first. You don't put your sexual preference first. You don't put your animals first, your car first, your economics first. You put what's in the best interest of black people first, and you're willing. Black nationalism is based on the principle of solidarity and unity. So
Hmm.
you're willing to listen to other ideas and viewpoints and perspectives in the search of the best methods for us to advance and obtain our liberation. And a true black nationalist will go to extremes,
Yep.
point out what we have in common, the cohesiveness uh, of our blackness, why it's beneficial for us to work together. Now, mind you, we're not ultra libertarians. We're not. We believe in principled unity. Like
Hmm.
I don't unify with people based on melon.
Right.
I don't unify with people based on because they look like me. I'm telling you, moving to Atlanta has shattered all of
Yeah, it's
that.
different right there. It is. It's different.
What?
It's so different with the. Oh God, yeah, it's different.
Oh,
Ever said there's
oh
the
man,
most black people, but the most black people that go in all kind of different directions up here.
absolutely. Absolutely, and that throws you. I first moved to Atlanta. I was 16 or 17. That's been since then. I've become accustomed to. I even refer myself a lot of times to an Atlantean. Even
Yeah.
though the natives down here call me a transplant, but I came in like '86. You know what I'm saying? I came to
Yeah.
Atlanta in '86 and haven't went anywhere. Um, but it blew my mind when I first came down and was like, here's an incident when I got messing with the police. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, brother. He's like, I'm not your brother. I mean, yeah, man. Niggerism in Atlanta is at an all-time high because it is a lot of melanated people. So you have every type. You have black men and women. You have I mean, when I say black, I mean those consciously working to advance and promote black excellence. You got niggas on the lower social spectrum doing all the foul nigga shit. Then you got corporate niggers. the ones we call cool, Uncle Tom. See, I don't let them get away with the nigga shit.
Oh,
You
yeah,
know what I'm
nah.
saying? You call yourself a coon or
Oh, yeah,
whatever,
nah.
you a nigga. You
Yeah.
call yourself a coon, Uncle Tom, that's nigga. That's executive nigga, corporate nigga. You a nigga.
Mhm.
So, yeah, and when you seen all it, you got political niggas. And so you have
Mhm.
this hodgepodge of all of these people. And if you come down thinking that all your skin folk are your kinfolk, you are going to be in for a rude awakening.
Yeah, exactly. You'll see so much treachery, goodness, all in one day.
Yeah. Yeah. So what it did, though, I will say this for Atlanta. Atlanta had helped me to strengthen my ideology, to be more focused, to really hone it in. Atlanta, I would say I hadn't gotten baptized in Cleveland, all of that under my father, as far as uh, revolutionary practices, observation and
Mhm.
participation. So, my participation, the beginning of my participation was under my father. A lot of my studies, all my life actually, under my father. But Atlanta really allowed me to hone it, really allowed me to develop my ideology and to make it my own.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And to make it my own. So for that, man,
I
big shout
traveled. I traveled a lot
out. I'll
through
forever be
Texas.
grateful. You said again?
I traveled a lot through Texas and through different parts of the South when I was a lot younger in my past life. You know what I mean? That's why I
Right.
was doing a whole bunch of different shit. It's a different person then.
Mhm.
And I went through the South for like a little tour,
Okay.
and I learned a lot, man. I didn't learn a lot. I felt like, man, have you ever felt like you were cheated where you were born and you should have grown up at? I felt like I was cheated for not growing up in the South.
Really?
I was born in L.A. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm Californian, so I had to come out here and everything bad you could think happens. And and I was thinking, man, when I went through the South, went to Texas, I was like, oh, I like the rain because rain comes out straight where I was
Mhm.
at. And then I was like, oh, but Florida is tight. I was like all over Florida and all over through the South, and I was like, damn it. I feel deprived. Like, I feel like I should have been born here, stayed down here somewhere. I'd have been fine.
Man,
And I
you
was like, good there. They're good
got
there.
visitors. You got that
Great.
visitors bug. You
Mm-hmm.
got, and it happens. You go to a city, you're really just visiting, and it's like,
Mm-hmm.
oh man, this is the best place in the world. I wish I was born here. But if you ask the natives, if you ask
Yeah.
the locals, they probably would tell you a different story because it's a whole different perspective. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
I've been there, like in Florida, I was down there for like 5 years. Texas,
Oh,
I
okay.
was like for like 3 years. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
I had a little experience, like just kind of moving. I like to move around,
right.
so
I heard that.
it's not unusual for me to pick up and just move somewhere. I don't have no children.
Right. I heard that, man. Definitely. Well, look, let's get a little bit into what we're presenting. There again, man, this is brought to you by the People's Education Committee. It is a thing that we have begun. It come out. You see seductions on it. Definitely know it's coming out of Nundy's Captain Queen on it. Some strong players on it. And our thing is we just want to bring you that proper education.
Mm-hmm.
We want to give. We're not a cult. We're not the channel with Kumbaya. Right.
Yeah,
You don't have to be. We believe informed people make informed decisions. And so we want to present the information. We want to present it unbiased. We make commentaries and things on it. Shit, you know how to chat. You know how this works. You're able to make commentaries on it. If you feel it, jump on the panel. We'll discuss it. And what it is in the hopes that you will walk away with true information, which will strengthen your resolve to continue this fight for liberation. BLM, Black Liberation Movement, not that Black Lives Matter shit.
yeah, that
They
shit's
call
played.
popular initials,
They
but the
fucked it
Black
up.
Liberation Movement or the National Liberation Struggle
Did
in
you
their
see
way.
that broad is getting sued? Right, that broad is getting
Oh, right.
sued. Now that
I
broad is
I
getting
don't know
sued
much
for.
about it. Right. I have to check it out. I don't know much about it, man. It's like, I have I'm here's my deficiency. I'm gonna go on and put out my Achilles heel. My
Yeah,
Achilles, yeah. I'm gonna show my weakness, man. I don't multitask well. So I usually stay away from sucker shit.
yeah,
Like BLM in the beginning hit
yeah.
my black man senses. You know what I'm
You
saying?
said right the other day in the beginning of niggerdom.
So in the beginning of this nigga, my
Yeah,
my spidey senses went to tingling. I mean, it just didn't sit right with me. And when something happens like that, I usually won't pursue it. I don't have to investigate. I don't because I don't
yeah,
fuck. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? But I have heard, you have to be under a rock not to hear a little bit of what's going on. So I have heard uh, that her ass is getting sued. And I mean,
Yeah,
it does
that's
surprise me. I mean, shit, they stole the BLM initiative. That's appropriated. I don't care what anyone tells me. I don't have proof. But if I honestly think
now yeah.
that if the government, yeah,
They used something tragic, and this broad used something tragic, turned it into something fucking damn near. What do you want to say? I want to say, she mutilated it. She's like, it's garbage now. That what I said. I say, Black Lives Matters is like black paper, white words. Like the God. Like the essay. Uh, White words that are from a black mind or something like that. I can't remember who wrote it. It was an actual book. I can't remember right now off the top of my head. But it's just like that. Black. She used white words and then turned it into something ugly. Turned it into the LGBTQ. They co-opted it. Black Lives Matters everywhere, 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 right? And then you see it like BET would be running commercials. Uh, Our lives can't matter till Black Lives Matter, right?
yeah.
And it's either co-signing on this fucking agenda that's been like forced down everybody's throat. So
Well,
no one can really get past that part.
yeah, that became
It's
a very big part of it. To me, I'm gonna be honest, that wasn't the biggest part to me. I'm just gonna keep it real. I mean, I know that was what a lot of the community focused on. Oh, it's they're lesbians and it's
no, they
homosexual.
changed it. They just changed what it was at that moment, I guess.
Well, yeah,
During a
they
time that it was really ugly.
yeah,
It's like the George Floyd thing.
but I saw it larger than that for me from the beginning. Not just it being co-opt. If people felt it was co-opt to the LGBTQ community, I didn't. It was much larger for that than that for me because I think that in itself is a smoke screen. I think that in itself is just another way to keep the black community fighting over something that is trivial as hell at this point to me anyway, and that's just my opinion. I'm not the damn bedroom police.
Right.
I
And I
understand
think
a
too,
lot.
that's why we're talking
I
about
understand,
this particular
yeah, I
topic.
understand it goes a lot deep into social culture and all of that. Right now, that isn't so much my concern. What
Yeah.
I had a concern about it was the that it had taken the vigor, the fight, it had taken the steam that you could have fueled a revolution and had
Yep.
diluted.
And
You know what
diluted
I'm
it.
saying? It diluted it because there was far more support in that BLM movement than just LGBTQ. It
Right.
was a
They trashed it. The Black Liberation Movement turned into that. They
yes. Well,
used
it
the
turned
words
into
for the
Black
acronym.
that it turned into Black Lives Matter, which
Right.
never was the Black Liberation Movement. That's
No.
what I mean. It just appropriated slogans and phrases. It gave us a general. It did what a lot of really almost successful movements do. It generalized the struggle. It put the struggle under one umbrella. Black
Mm-hmm.
Lives Matter, which is a statement you can't deny. My life matters. All Black life matters. You can't
Right.
deny that statement.
Yeah.
So, what they had a general statement addressing a general sentiment, but there was a core that had an agenda and a motive.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what everything of that motive was, I don't particularly know. What I do know from looking at the outside, from seeing how um, it affected the masses. There again, on a general level, was I felt like it took the attention away from where it needed to be. It didn't whip the masses into some type of revolutionary frenzy, at least to the point where we would have seen substantial change. It's so that movement had been going on so long and it's so ineffective that I talked about yesterday that Jason Van Dyke can walk away after shooting a young man 16 times with doing
Yeah.
let first only be sentenced to 7 years. and then walk. You know what I'm saying? And then walk like
Mm-hmm.
doing under 4. So you're talking. This is what I mean by you judge the effectiveness of a movement. So what did it do? But corral the anger and the frustration of black people, and they get their money and give the state an excuse to say or point to them as saying, this is your black movement. This is your addressing the injustices that you face, black people, and we will acknowledge them and talk to them and appease them, cutting off true revolutionaries or true progressives for the advancement of black people. Dealing
Yeah.
with those motherfuckers. You know, they
Right.
government.
It was like a distraction by design.
Absolutely. And if you can get the masses to participate in it and support it, you know what I'm saying? Because this is what we do. This is what we do. We follow fads. We love the trends. And
Mm-hmm.
they do that. And BLM became a trend or a fad. And if you can get the masses to support it wholesale like we did, then the state can justify saying, okay, well, we'll talk to them as your
Mm-hmm.
black representatives because you guys support them clearly. All of you out there screaming BLM, you're all by. So these must be your representatives. So there again, black people have been unwittingly tricked into supporting an organization that doesn't benefit them. NAACP, Democratic Party, BLM, it's the same shit. We have to break this cycle of unconscious and unintelligent support for these motherfuckers that at the end of the day are self-serving.
Mm-hmm. God, man, this is yeah. You see what I'm saying? Now that you bring it, you put it in that perspective. I'm sure there's people like me thinking about it like, fuck, they tricked us again. You know what I mean? Like real shit. I just had that light bulb moment real quick. Like, yeah, because we were so quick, and they did it at the right time. We were angry.
Yep,
They did it at the right time. Then once we got on board, then it was fucked up. We got off that train. You know what I mean? It's
absolutely.
still a little fiery, but we did get off the train. It took a minute, but I see that every day though with certain things that we're doing that's leading to the motherfucking what we're talking about today. It's a necessity because um it's gonna get it. It feels like if you can feel it, it feels like it's about to get pretty critical here shortly, and black black is making a movement for the top. You know what I mean? No longer
Yes.
going to be on the bottom. And so if you can feel it, the energy is rising. You're like, oh my God, man, we're right. We're so close. And so
Mhm.
I felt like we should just discuss it. You know, have these, especially about this, because it's like, it opens up for more empowering discussions.
Absolutely.
Because our brothers are still out
Absolutely.
there marching and shit. They're
Absolutely.
still on the ground.
We have to listen. We not only discussions like this constantly bombarding the airwaves, the what they call these YouTube. I'm done calling them YouTube, like Queen
I
Nanny.
told you I couldn't do it, dude. I
Black
couldn't.
tube. You know what I'm saying? We
Yeah.
have to bombard these black tube streets with real shit.
Yeah.
Like I said, too long have these suckers been masquerading
Mm-hmm.
as powerful black males or females that have our best interests at heart. And due to our lack of information, we allow them to get away with that shit. But I know if we start informing the people will start knocking their heads off of these charlatans.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, the people will not start knocking the heads off these charlatans. One
Yeah, because
thing you
nobody wants to live like this anymore. And now that everybody's consciously waking up in this time right now, it's like everybody's seeing everybody for who they are, really who they are, and what they are, and it's
yeah,
just changing left and right, left and right. It's good. It's a good time to do this.
absolutely. Perfect time to do it. Perfect time to
Actually,
do it.
too, and I think about it like this. Our brothers and sisters that are in revolutionary mindsets. We have to factor in that they get discouraged too. And
Yeah.
so when we see certain things or we have these discussions, so it's a little bit of an empowerment moments for them. Like the other day when I was showing you that clip where with Chase Black, he had a little empowerment moment where he's like, I'm a black man in America, right? This is good. It's something to help you to see some shit and feel empowered, because that's the
Mhm.
whole thing. It's about
Mhm.
black empowerment. It's about building up, getting out there, just moving this shit around, changing the way we're supposed to have it. And I feel like there's
Say
a little
that.
bit of discouragement out there.
Absolutely. At the end of the day, it's black excellence.
Right.
At the end of the day, it is black excellence. Us knowing that we are excellent in everything that we do.
Yep.
Uh,
You ready for
yeah.
the
Wait a minute.
refresher?
Let me read what my man Ace is saying, and I'm gonna put it up on it because Ace. Let me tell you
Okay.
something. This guy here always contributes wonderful shit. Let me put it up because he's saying something that I think needs to be seen. Put it up for a minute. And Ace is saying, Yang, you might want to explain. These people are taught the foot in the door method to rob black people. They teach this method in marketing and sales schools. Next is summary of how it works, i.e. BLM. Indeed, foot in the door method, not take no for an answer. You try to close the door, putting that
No,
foot in the door. They're coming on in. Absolutely. And I think that I'm touching on it, and we have Ace touch on it, but absolutely. Absolutely. We have to understand, and this is the importance of us revolutionaries again, taking control of the narrative.
no, the narrative. Yeah, that's the
Yeah,
best year to do it, because
yeah.
we let them control our narrative. We let them keep us down. We've allowed it. It's like the pedagogy of the oppressed, where they're the oppressor, that we take on that role. We find that little power, that we oppress others. You know what I mean? And just keep going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. We've let them do that to us, and we've done it to others. So now that we know that, we can control our narrative the way we want it. That's
Mhm.
individually, globally, nationally, whatever you want to look at it.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's going to start with there again. People's
Mm-hmm.
Education Committee should probably be, is that too corny? Do I sound like what? People Education Committee probably
No,
possess. No,
no,
real shit. No, I am so glad to be able to bring this because, like Dahl is saying, the pedagogy of the oppressed, how we start doing these things to one another, but to begin to change this disorder that exists in our community is for us to be. Oh yeah, my God, let me put my boy's son up here. Is to begin for us
hi,
to.
Black Sun.
Hey, selection dog, how you doing? Yanga. Hey, peace to y'all.
Man, peace, man.
Peace to the chat. Peace to the chat.
There's people in the
You know,
chat. I can't see it.
is to
Okay.
begin to inform the people. When you inform my motto, inform people, make informed decisions. Let's get into son. What's good, man? We're gonna talk about a little bit of this Black Liberation Army, like you and I were talking about earlier, man. It's about time to start informing the people, man. Putting that education, that information out there.
Oh, absolutely, brother. Yeah, the BLA. Yeah, we definitely need to. I mean, yeah, we do need to do a series of these, and not only do a series, but we need
We're
to
ahead
stay
of the game,
consistent.
Black Sun. You joined
Yeah,
just in
yeah.
time.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah. And selection, because I was telling Yanga, we need to do like we need to designate a day, maybe even 2 days if y'all like, but we definitely need to keep it consistent because a lot of the people I'm running into, uh, me and Yang are running into some people that don't quite know the West Coast history, and I'm glad that you here, Selection Dog, because it's like, yeah, we got some work to do.
Yeah, so, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
we
We
got some
do,
work
because
to do.
well, there's a lot of things that are happening, and like I do, and when I do my own stuff, sometimes I'll highlight a certain topic, um, in regards to that. Right now, the right now, some community revolutionary progress is making its moves. You know what I mean? And that's a good thing. And we
that.
need to
That's right.
highlighting that. I
Right.
didn't see it what he said. Well, let me get over there. Let me know when you're ready, and I'll share it. But yeah, you're right, Blackson. At least to come on and dialogue on this platform, because this is a good platform to do it. You already got it set up that way. And there's movement. This is like it's black. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We
Yep.
throw that back up, man.
Yeah, Ace,
Yo,
you're right. Yeah.
let me definitely shout out my man Ace, man. I really always appreciate the great contributions that you
Yeah, it's
throw
smart.
in this chat. Yeah, the way it works is anytime there's a movement in Black society, the convenience Blacks include Jews, Hispanics, LGBT, people of
Yep.
color as part of that movement, i.e., foot in the door. See
Yep, you're
the
right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
including
the
right now
two
with the Whoopi Goldberg
all,
case.
all day.
Absolutely.
Hey, I wish Ace would just come on, man. That way you got to keep reading. Just come on the panel. Yeah. I mean, he sounds very informative, man. Why not just jump on
Yeah,
the
he's a
panel
smart
and
cat.
yeah, it makes it much smoother. Ace is what I'm saying. You know, it sounds
Yeah,
kind of choppy when you got to read the.
I'm
No
not.
offense, but yeah.
I'm not gonna
Yeah,
read it.
really,
I'm
yeah,
just throwing it up. I'm just gonna throw it up. I probably won't read it, but just I'll put them up. Now, Ace, when the probably the film is on, I don't know if I'm gonna put them up, but yeah, definitely as long as he contributes, I'm put him up because I really dig saying it's all about the information. Hey, without further ado, man, let's put in some of that
That,
BL.
all right, let's do it. Let me see if this is very good. So, okay. All right, here we go. Can you see it?
I can see it.
Okay. Everybody in the chat, I guess, or not in the chat, on the StreamYard, put yourselves in mute real quick so that we don't have no echoing.
Seduction, you muted yourself.
As I meant to say, we should all put ourselves on mute.
Okay. My bad. I thought,
No
okay.
echoing. I did it too early because
I didn't know.
I'm
Okay, I
used to
didn't know
putting
you
out
meant
my own
yourself
shit.
too. My bad. Okay, let me mute.
Yeah, I muted myself too. All right, let me get this started real quick. All right, y'all can see the screen. You can see this, right? Okay, I'm just gonna pretend like you said yes.
Francisco PD swooped down on a group of guys they want.
Okay, well, let me introduce it real fast. This is it's called America's Most Wanted Black Liberation Army, and I don't know when it was dated, but we're gonna start with this one. We got three of these to go through, so we're gonna dialogue with it. So here we go.
Yeah.
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
And disclaimer. Let me give a disclaimer. Hold on.
Mhm.
Hold on.
The disclaimer is we're already rolling through the stream. See, it's
I'm
very.
giving hold on. No, I'm giving a black disclaimer.
Oh yeah, go for it.
Disclaimer. Black disclaimer. This is our first time seeing it, and we
Yeah.
know white people are narrating it. So this is why we're gonna come back and probably give the commentary. I don't want to see later. Yango was playing this. This is our first time too. We riding along together on this shit, family.
Yep.
That's a black disclaimer, dog. Because these Negroes will eat your ass up on here.
I
So
know.
we get.
I don't give a fuck. I want to
Right. Well, we're letting them know, like, yo.
black platform. Okay, I don't care.
Yeah, no, we're just letting them know. We're just letting them know we're riding on. See, that's the whole thing of black nationalism. We're all in
Yeah.
this together. There's no big eyes, little U's. I'm not the
Yeah.
master teacher. You know, we're
No.
bringing it in. We're gonna discuss and dissect this shit together. We
Well,
beat
me and
up
my
these.
boy were talking about it, dude. We can set up these our little reactionary videos or whatever, and just narrate through it in our own voice. Because I feel like I got a good voice to do that type of shit.
Right.
Yeah.
We'll add. You know, that's what we're gonna do at the end of it. We're gonna, you know, we'll and anything further, we can talk and have a meeting about it. But yeah, so I'm just putting it
Mhm.
out there. I'm just putting it out there for the chat to let them know. And the people out there, if you want to join the panel, you can be involved in this too. It's a study group. We just all kicking it. All right, my bad, dog. Go ahead.
All right, let's go. Let's see where I'm at. All right, bam.
Group of guys they wanted real bad. They've been after them for more than 35 years. When a killing spree ignited San Francisco in one of the wildest and most turbulent times in the city's history. It's been 35 years in the making. This moment caught on tape by America's Most Wanted. Hey Richard, you cop killer? This former radical and San Francisco city janitor now under arrest for conspiracy to kill a San Francisco cop. The story goes back to San Francisco in the late 1960s, the center of anti-war protesters and those fighting for civil rights. The establishment, especially cops,
No,
were
is this
considered
me?
the
I don't see anything. I don't know. I don't see anything. Or
Oh
is it
shit!
just
You
me?
don't see this?
I
Okay,
see.
you
I
don't.
don't see a video. I see your
Oh, okay, hold
screen.
on, my bad. My fault. All right, hold on. Oops, I was in the wrong one. My bad. Sorry, I was in the wrong thing. My fault.
You're good.
Let's see. It's because I got like 80,000 windows. Okay, here we go. Now, can you see it? You see it, right?
Okay, hold on. Let me put it up.
Let's see where you are. Oops.
There we go.
Let's see.
Looking good. Yeah,
You
absolutely.
see it? All right.
Yeah.
Let me rewind the track. Hold on. Actually, let me put my headphones in real fast. Okay. I thought I muted it too. I got all excited. My bad. Let's see if I can get this mic in real fast. Just because it's kind of working on my the volume on my computer. Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, one more time. Hold on again. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Hold on. Mic check. Go check. How about now? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Still not working.
Oh, you know I'm gonna fuss at you after this, right?
Huh?
You know I'm gonna fuss after this. We was on the whole thing. We've been on this computer for a whole hour before the show. How you get on
This is a
this?
mic check, man. It's important. Never
Mic check
mind on the mic.
a whole hour.
I know. Okay.
So
Jeez.
you gotta tell her about working. She don't know I'm a nitpicker, man.
You ready? You ready? Let's do this.
Yes,
Okay.
I'm ready.
1, 2, 3, go.
Just days ago, the San Francisco PD swooped down on a group of guys they wanted real bad. They've been after them for more than 35 years. When a killing spree ignited San Francisco in one of the wildest and most
No, we have an
turbulent
echo.
times in the city's
There we
history.
go.
It's been 35 years in the making. This moment caught on tape by America's Most Wanted.
Richard, you copy?
This former radical and San Francisco city janitor now under arrest for conspiracy to kill a San Francisco.
It sounds like an echo. Is that just how it's playing, or does it sound like, or is it?
It might be echoing. Let's see. Let me see if it doesn't.
Francisco cop. The story goes back to just days ago. The
Was it echoing that time?
Oh, that was it. That was it. That was good.
San Francisco PD swooped down on a group of guys they wanted real bad. They've been after them for more than 35 years. When a killing spree ignited San Francisco in one of the wildest and most turbulent times in the city's history. It's been 35 years in the making. This moment caught on tape by America's Most Wanted.
Hey, Richard, you cop killer?
This former radical and San Francisco city janitor now under arrest for conspiracy to kill a San Francisco cop. The story goes back to San Francisco in the late 19th.
Wow. I don't even know if I like America Most Wanted. I feel like it's disrespected to BLA. Let's go to the next one. I feel like this crack John. Well, I couldn't even do it when they brought the comrade, had the handcuffs. Listen, get this crack off the screen. If you don't get this big head pasted, big jaw, big cave, get that crack off my screen. Yeah, let's go to something else. Thank you.
That's the whole point, family, that we're watching this with you. So we learned something too. We didn't like that one. That was what we learned.
Right on.
Let's try.
Right on. Like Dawg said, we learning too.
We learned too. So when Dilly Bully Jr. and he called it the show, he said, "How are you doing?" Still learning.
Like that.
Yeah. There you go. Here you go. We'll do this one. This is the second one we chose to talk about.
Let's see what we got.
We spoke about the Black Liberation Army
Jesus
within
Christ.
the Empire of the United States. With activist, historian,
Can you hear
and national spokesperson for the August 3rd Collective, Haki Shakur. The BLA's first public declaration was in 1971. Similar
We're
groups
getting
were being
that.
formed
We're
around
getting
the
that
world
echo.
at that time.
Oh shit.
The FARC in Colombia formed in 1964.
Let me see.
The PFLP formed in Palestine in 1967. The Provisional IRA formed in Ireland in 1969.
Take it back.
So who
Take
were the BLA? The BLA's first public declaration.
All right.
We spoke about the Black Liberation Army within the Empire of the United States. With activist, historian, and national spokesperson for the August 3rd collective, Haki Shakur. The BLA's first public declaration was in 1971. Similar groups were being formed around the world at that time. The FARC in Colombia formed in 1964. The PFLP formed in Palestine in 1967. The Provisional IRA formed in Ireland in 1969. So who were the BLA?
The Black Liberation Army. The season of struggle is our season. 1970 to 1981.
Dog,
The
can you
Black
make it any
Liberation
bigger?
Army, or BLA, was a political, military clandestine formation and organization
Put it on
that
pause for a
formed
moment.
in the underground of the hills of North America for the liberation of new Africans.
Pause it for a moment. Hot second. And I'm not going to interrupt you. I'm not going to interrupt you.
I'm fixing my speaker anyway. Go ahead.
Okay. I wanted to pop because I thought it was interesting just in that part. And I'll let it play all the way through from the next. Is how, and what I'm already loving about this is how it equated the BLA, the FARC, the Provisional Irish Army, to every revolutionary groups internationally, to revolutionary groups around the world. And this is what I'm talking about. That our struggle is not just a civil struggle, just not a national struggle, but our struggle is an international struggle. We had a revolution really be waged on the shores of North America. And you, my brothers and sisters, have been plugged into the matrix and don't know the reality of it. They've plugged you into this matrix with the Civil Rights Act and everything, integration and assimilation, that when you unplug, you didn't know that a whole war had been waged and is still being waged for your liberation because you're sitting back, consumer capitalist, like the matrix, just sucking it all up, believing that it is real. But now, we're about to unplug your ass for a moment. We're about to unplug you and let you see what's really happening. All right, see if we can get that screen a little bigger, dog. And I'm gonna be quiet to the end of the thing.
So that's probably as big as I can go. Okay.
Okay.
Let's see.
Is
One more
it
second.
gonna show the picture? Why is the picture half showing though? Is that how it's recorded?
Nah, it's because I'm on it's really big in my actual
Okay.
browser.
Yeah, I just want us to be able to see the whole picture. That's why I was saying why then we were getting half a picture.
Can you see it
Okay.
now, the whole thing?
Yeah. Yeah, we can see the whole picture. That's cool.
All right. Let me rewind the track because for some reason I was having a hard time with the speaker, and I don't know if you guys can hear it. Can you hear it clearly?
We could
Can
hear
you hear it? You can?
yeah, we
Okay, cool.
could hear it perfect. Yeah.
All right.
Except for the echo at the beginning.
Yeah.
We're gonna get it. We're gonna get it. This is great.
Good. It's just that when you play YouTube and the StreamYard, the one of them got to be on mute. So right now I'm going back on mute so I can play it.
African Black people in the Empire of the United States of America. But in order to understand BLA, you have to understand the history and the struggle of new African people in the United States of America. Some say the Black Liberation Army formed on the plantations of the South. Some say Nat Turner had the first Black Liberation Army in 1831. Some say Gabriel Prosser was forming a Black Liberation Army on the plantation fields of Henrico, Virginia. Some said Denmark Vesey had a Black Liberation Army organized on the plantations of South Carolina. Some said the Black Liberation Army was Charles Desalon and the 400 to 500 New Africans and African enslaved ancestors who uprose on the plantations in the parishes of Louisiana. But one thing we do know for sure, the Black Liberation Army became fully active and gained its name in 1971.
What struggles did the BLA emerge from?
In order to understand the material struggle and material conditions from in which BLA emerged from, you have to understand the historical context of the self-defense history of New African people inside the United States of America. You have to understand the state repression, the white racist violence and terrorism that Africans and New Africans endured, which they combated with self-defense in this country's history period in time, which in fact was above ground, clandestine political military movements of the late 1950s to the early 1960s that arose above ground in order to move on into the more recent histories of why the underground emerged. One specific organization, which is the Black Panther Party for Self-Defense. The Black Panther Party came under a brutal state attack repressions from this country's law enforcement and FBI organization, which in fact J. Edgar Hoover brought into existence, called the Counterintelligence Program, which caused internal conflict within the ranks of the leadership of the now defunct Black Panther Party. So in order to survive that brutal repression from the FBI and police, many of these members decided to go underground and reorganize and reform and remerge in which what you know today as the Black Liberation Army to survive the season of struggle.
What kind of actions did the BLA engage in, and what years and places were they active?
In order to protect those who are active in the Black Liberation Army, and those who are no longer active in the Black Liberation Army, let me just go on the record to protect them and say alleged actions that took place by Blah. Some of these actions that took place in the years of the 1970s and 1980s, all across the major cities of the United States empire, I would say some of those actions were bank appropriations, sabotage, ambush, and assault missions on local law enforcement agencies, and any known threat to the above political apparatus. BLA took on what we know today as the strategy of the best defense is to go on offense, military actions on reactionary law enforcement agencies and police terrorists across the United States of America.
How did the US state work to crush the BLA?
How did the state work to crush the Black Liberation Army? You will have to study the historical context of the Black Liberation's military campaigns in the three epochs, which was from 1970 to 1972, from 1972 to 1979, and last but not least, which was considered the last dance of the Black Liberation Army or operations of the Black Liberation Army, which was the Brinks robbery in 1981. You have to understand through that period of time, the Black Liberation was engaging in military campaigns and actions on law enforcement departments across the United States of America in major cities. So a lot of BLA members were either assassinated, murdered in what we call slain in combat, or a lot of Black Liberation Army members were captured in that period of time. So the state brutal repression intensified by the COINTEL program orchestrated by J. Edgar Hoover during that period of time of the 1970s, which was the most extensive activity of the Black Liberation Army.
What happened to the BLA veterans?
The status and what happened to many Black Liberation Army vets, we understand that many Black Liberation Army combatants and soldiers were slain in combat. You had individuals like Zai Shakur, Twyman Myers, Matari, Shabaka Sundiata, who all died or were assassinated in combat. You have many individuals who were captured, who did their time and were released. Many of those individuals who are still incarcerated today is Jalil Muta King, Kamal Siddiqui, Fred Burton, Joseph Boeing. Many of these individuals have did over 40 to 50 years as prisoners of war of the new African Black nation in duty and service of the Black Liberation Army. Many of those individuals died in prison, like Kwesi Balagoon. Many of them died upon release after prison. Sufia Bukhari, Owusu Yaki Yakubu, names of individuals we should all remember and honor and commemorate to this day, who gave the ultimate sacrifice for the independence of new African people inside the United States of America's empire.
What lessons should young revolutionaries take from the experiences of the BLA?
What many of our youth across the world who are in extensive study of revolutionary history, politics, and science should learn and take away from the active years of the Black Liberation Army, BLA. First, I would say they should learn from the mistakes of the Black Liberation Army, and to learn from the mistakes and to correct them and to never, ever repeat those mistakes in this time and place we are living in this material world. We should also let the youth understand that the revolution is in their hand, and it's their duty to form a movement of resistance, whether it's armed or unarmed. But specifically in this case, you should always be trying to form some kind of clandestine underground military faction and formation to defend oppressed people. And you also have to understand the objectives of political military organizations like the Black Liberation Army, that these organizations had an objective, and that objective was complete independence for new African people and oppressed peoples, to take up arms and to fight and sacrifice for what we know as true liberation, true freedom for oppressed people across this planet. And you have to understand the ideology of the Black Liberation Army that many people tend to leave out, which is that they were anti-capitalist, anti-imperialist, anti-racist, anti-sexist. One of the most important principles that the youth should take from, to incorporate women into your military ranks, and to also always understand what the BLA believed. They believed that the character of reformism was based on an unprincipled class collaboration with our enemy. And to understand that the BLA stated that we must We must strive for the abolishment of these systems and institutions of socialistic relations in which Black people have total and absolute control over our destiny as a people. You must learn that. The youth should also understand the third and final principle of BLA, that in order to abolish our systems of oppression, we must utilize the science of class struggle. Develop this science as it relates to our unique national condition. Free the land by any means necessary. Long live Blah. Long live the Black Liberation Army. As Assata Shakur stated, who's in exile, one of our main symbols of the Black Liberation Army. As long as Black people, new African people in the Empire of the United States of America, or know where African people be, there will always be a Black Liberation Army. All power.
Wow. All powers.
Wow.
Free the land by any means necessary. That's heavy, man. That was good. That was actually good. I enjoyed that. Man, that was good. You wanted to, son, what'd you think?
You're muted if you're still in here.
All right, dog. What do you think? Let's get your take. What you think?
I like how it was clean. It was straight to the point. It's pretty spot on. And I agree. You know, freedom all, fucking free the land.
Absolutely.
And I mean,
man, let's touch on it. I want to touch on it. I want to talk about Blah. You know, man, and
I like how you said, for their protection.
I thought it was excellent. I thought it was the brother did a good job putting it out. Let's talk about Blah, a little bit about what I know Blah from, having knowing people who have been in Blah, and just people who have been around Blah, Black Liberation Army. Let me say this too about why I think stuff like this is necessary. One of the things that you hear going on, one of the things that these collaborators, these coons, man, these people who like to belittle and denigrate or downplay the liberation struggle, and Black people in general like to say that Black people never fought. We didn't stand up. You must be some weaklings, some cowards. How did this happen and how did that happen? Bill.
No.
They're right there. Right. I mean, listen, my man just ran it down. We've always been fighting. I like how it goes back and talks about how people even talking about the inception of the Black Liberation Army, how the Black Liberation Army started, and how the brother was saying that some people even say that the Black Liberation Army goes all the way back to Nat Turner. That's me. You know what I'm saying? The Black Liberation Army is the embodiment of revolutionary struggle, liberation struggle. It is the spirit that really inhabited human beings, Black human beings, for them to execute such actions as to fight for our freedom. There's no way, if you know anything about history, people can get away with saying that we just laid down and rolled over it, even here in the Americas.
No, there's a lot of stuff going around about that, especially with the immigrants too.
Yeah. What's up, Bishop?
Hey, what's going on?
What's going on, brother, man? Sitting there doing a build, man. Y'all came up with this brilliant idea, and she was like, yo, let's do something on Blah. Let's do something on Black Liberation Army. Why I thought that was a brilliant idea, because this is just the first part of a lot of series that we want to bring. We're calling the People Education Committee. We're putting a committee together. And the thing is, I might get like Blah. I might not recruit. I might just start drafting. Shit, I might be looking at Sarah, man, as a draft potential. But we're putting, Black excellence, man, to begin to empower our people through information and education, to dispel
Right.
the myths of suckers who try to come against us and say we just laid down and accepted our fate, or that this is the best that we have. This is the best thing going. Why fight against it? We have to be those people. So we said we'll start, and it's called the People's Education Committee. We're starting now. We're starting with this series on going through the block, going through Black Liberation Army. You
Okay.
saw the. Did you have a chance? Did you come in enough to see the video?
Yes, I saw most of it. I didn't get a chance to visually see the first part, but I heard most of it.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was a short one. It was quick. It was just a starter.
Hmm. Any comments? Anything you wanted to add to it?
Yeah, well, I was just gonna say, as you see with my name, I
Yes.
chose that name because those three individuals, Thomas Sankara, and then you got Patrice Lumumba and Maurice Bishop.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of learning about them late in the game,
Mm-hmm.
and they were revolutionaries. And
Absolutely.
I look at it like, as far as results, in my opinion, we have all of our ancestors and all of our great leaders, but in my opinion, they got us closest to nationhood in recent years in our lifetime. To me, these three people, because you had Maurice Bishop, you had the Grenada Revolution,
Mm-hmm.
which he was able to have that whole region become self-sufficient in a very short period of time.
Yes. Yes.
And the Reagan administration, squandered that, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
But like we were saying in the other stream, it's very possible to have enough people get together and separate and be independent, where you could get something kicked off the ground that could actually build an actual nation. But you got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
And I think it's great what you guys are doing. I don't get to see anybody talking like y'all are talking, so I always enjoy it.
Hey, man, right on, man. We appreciate it. Like I said, you have a home here. Um, Another thing though I wanted to point out about the film, which I think is very important, I think we snooze on as black people over here in America. I identify with the guy in the film so much I never really shared it because I do consider myself a new African. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But I don't like to argue semantics and all of that. That's a whole nother
Yeah.
argument that I may get into a little later. Why I consider myself a new African and why I am a member of the provisional government, a sworn member, a conscious member of the provisional government of the Republic of New Africa, first lieutenant in the military wing of the provisional government of New Africa called the Black Legion, and I am honored and proud to be one and to say that I am of such. With that being said, um, why I believe this is so important and so good is because us as black people, one of the things we haven't done is to elevate our struggle to a revolutionary struggle. Hence, it allows the state to hold our comrades as regular criminals.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? If they were held under political stature, if they were held by international laws as political dissidents, as people who disagree with the political system, who did engage in actions to overthrow the political system that they disagreed with, uh, I would say that their time would have been served by now. Hell, Mandela came as the president of South Africa. You see what I'm saying? And we've had people in prison longer than Mandela was. And he's now president of South Africa. So I say, as long as they can hold our people, hold their plight to basic state, national, or national criminality or state criminality, subject to the jurisdiction and the penalties and all the guidelines and all that bullshit of that particular state, they're going to drag our political prisoners. You see what I'm saying? We have to elevate that struggle. Mumia Abu, and on the flimsiest of charges because
Oh
they
yeah.
killed. Yeah, they kill us with time.
Yep.
They know that we don't understand protracted struggle. We don't understand generational revolution. Had it
Yep.
not been for my father telling me, making sure that I didn't forget his comrades, Sendata Akola, when Maroon was locked up, when Albert Washington Nook, when he was living, Rahimahullah Ta'ala, may God have mercy upon the revolutionary Albert Washington Nook. When these people were living, my father wouldn't allow me to forget about them because they were his comrades. And I'm slapping, I hope you can hear that, slapping the back of my wrist. Shame on me that I am not as diligent as passing that to my children. And will they be diligent to passing to theirs? And you will have people who have fought and died and are laying behind enemy lines in the hands of our enemies and these so-called revolutionaries. I'm talking about you new Black Panthers and this progressive and that progressive. All you so-called revolutionaries don't know your predecessors who still are in the clutches of the enemy.
Yeah.
It's a shame. You don't make that a part of the everyday political education. You should be. Go ahead, sister. I'm sorry.
I think too that when you know, just in my opinion, when you decide, when you wake up and you say, "Man, fuck this, I want to fight for some shit," you know that you're gonna be a revolutionary, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That you learn it, and then you're like, "Man, I wish, where have I been?" You know, or why didn't they teach me? Or and you feel this a little bit of animosity towards the situations that you came up in, because then um, you don't know any of this. You don't know any of this history. So when you finally hear it, you're like, damn,
We
where have I
should
been?
have. We should.
Right.
We should be very angry. Not at our parents, not at the people who
Nah.
loved, nurtured us to the best of their ability, and offered what they were fed at. But we should be angry with the state, who not
Yeah.
only implements but enforces the type of curricula that teaches a people to be domestic and dependent on a corrupt system.
Mm-hmm.
It's the state that teaches. It's the state that they're never going to teach you that you have freedom fighters or you have people that disagreed so vehemently with the system that they were willing to shed blood, their blood or their enemy's blood. They
Yeah,
will always teach you
shame
that
us.
in, huh?
They shame us. They criminalize it. They make it a bad thing when it's really not a bad thing. It's like for the benefit of the people. You know.
And not only, yeah, and not only shame it, they're not going to teach you. Like you said, you didn't know.
I
How
didn't
many
know.
people in school, how many people, they don't teach us about BLA in school, Black Liberation Army. They're
Mm-hmm.
not going to teach you anything that was different from integration, assimilation, and accommodationist. You know what I'm saying? Accommodating or collaborating. Like I like what they said, reformer class collaboration. Um, anyway, so they're not going to teach you these things. What do? They're going to teach you that yes, you have a right to disagree. Yes, you have a right to be upset about racism and about injustices in America and about the treatment, but you better disagree agreeably. You better not,
What does that mean?
you Negro, you Negro better disagree agreeably. Don't
It's
get
still
out,
like
don't get too
submission,
mad.
like submission, right?
Yeah, don't get too mad.
Agreeably means without changing it, without
Yeah,
changing the current situation. You know what I
Uh,
mean? That's what they mean.
yeah, my body, that's taking that submission, like just submit and shut up.
without right, without causing trouble. You ever been talking to the police officer and the cop is dead wrong, and you like, man, why, well, why are you asking me this question? Calm down. I'm calm. Calm the fuck down. You're like, I'm calm. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Oh yeah.
So, and the
Right,
next thing you know, it's
Oh
an
yeah.
incident. That
right. Yeah,
that
exactly. That's like,
they
my
want
mind, I
you
just
to
put it as submission.
right. They want you to agree agreeably. They want
No.
you to be in your face, or they want you to disagree agreeably. They want to be able to be in your face, put his finger in your chest, poke you in the face, spitting while he talks to you. And though you have a problem, you like, hey, I really have a problem. But keep your hands behind your fucking back. Don't watch your mouth.
Hmm.
Don't use that language. And they want you to disagree with. I know you have a problem, but you don't have to talk like that. Watch your fucking
Right.
mouth. Next thing you know, you're in jail for disorderly lined up.
Or you got shot. Or you got shot.
Or possibly shot. Absolutely.
Exactly. Like that's why I said all I heard was submission, and I was like, nah, fuck that. I like a rebel, let it go. And that's like a natural thing, you know. And there's people out there like that. Like, you see what you fucking tell you? Yeah, I mean, and I'm not. They fucking put their hands on me all the time every time they see me, right? The police. But he's like, when an officer gives you an order, you must obey. I said who? That's who. It says not agreeable in my soul. Fuck you.
Right, but if you want to live, that's where it's at. If you want to live, that's the alternative.
Yeah.
We live in such a society where doing wrong to black people is so accepted that when a wrong happens to us, when a police officer happens to us, our first thing isn't, damn, that's a shame. It's what that nigga do.
Mm-hmm.
What did that nigga do?
And they make it like it's our fault. They portray it in the media, it's our fault. Yeah.
Hey, listen, even amongst us is it's a psychology, it's a energy they put, it's an acceptance, a social, cultural understanding. You know what I'm saying? That go ahead, dog. What you saying?
It's fucked up because it's like when we crucify each other for, in my mind, I'm doing the right thing. I'm like, oh fuck that, I can't. I just don't submit to off brand. You know what I mean? Like in my mind, that's what I'm thinking, right? But other people are looking at it like, it's so quick to turn. Why don't you just stop? Why don't you stop talking? Why did you have to fight? And that, why did you? Why? And then immediately judgment is like a quick little flip around.
Yeah.
Sell out for a moment. I don't know how to explain it.
Because you didn't disagree agreeably. That's
right.
Why did you say anything? Because it was wrong. Why did you just be quiet? Because I have a First Amendment right to freedom of speech that I'm letting this Gestapo-style pig fucking, what is this? All the amendments and rights don't apply to me.
Right.
I have my First Amendment right. Man, let me tell you something. And you think they bullshit about that, and I'm going to put Queen Nandy on the spot. The Panthers had a SWAT team standoff about the Fourth Amendment right. They came no, really. They had come to the headquarters trying to find a reason to get into the headquarters and said that they heard we had a dead body in the closet. I shit you not.
Well, they make a penny damn thing.
Jesus.
A dead body. Wow. They say any goddamn thing.
Who made that look?
Right.
And they need to come in and look. And Nandy, being in that law shit, and she really does the shit, hit them with, I believe it's the Fourth Amendment, illegal search and seizure coming on the property. She quoted it like in law school and shut the fucking door. It wasn't within, I wasn't in the headquarters at the time. It wasn't within 15 to 20 minutes. That happening, I'm getting a call saying, man, get to the headquarters. We're being surrounded. By 2 counties, DeKalb and Fulton, a standoff for Fourth Amendment rights. You Negroes who are advocating, who are supporting the system, you don't have your rights. See, you just too bitch to try it on these crackers, you collaborators. But when real revolutionaries show you, this is what I mean by pointing out the contradictions, pushing them to extreme contradictions. No, most of those Negroes, these collaborators and these ones hollering about that we're cowardly, we're not standing up for black progression or black liberation. Most of those Negroes bow down and kowtow.
Right, they're afraid to get arrested. I mean, what the fuck?
All of that shit.
Wrong is wrong. You should feel it inside. You know what I mean?
All of that. They're frightened by all of that. And so I don't even think that they would have had the heart, let alone the knowledge, because the motherfuckers don't know that. If they knew the hypocrisy and the contradiction in America, they wouldn't be such big advocates. So I honestly doubt that they would have had enough information or know enough to have quoted their amendment and make these pigs have to step back and then have, I say the sister had bigger nuts than a lot of these Negroes, then have the heart.
She's a general.
To slam the fucking door in the pig's face. And I'm telling you, I'm telling you that the white man does not respect an intelligent black man or a black woman rather in that instant, but
Especially,
black people, intelligent black people generally, and especially if you're a black person, a Negro that has the audacity to stand on shit that's
yeah,
meant for white people. She stood on an amendment that was meant for white people. Nigga, you wasn't even supposed to know that amendment. That's what the people.
yeah. You're not
Nigga,
smart enough
you
to
weren't even
know.
supposed to know that fucking amendment,
Not
let
wrong.
alone
Tell me about it.
and expect. You slammed the door in my space and really gonna stand on that shit and expect us to accept it.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
so they call it the SWAT.
yeah.
And the
You know,
SWAT,
you can think she did it. You know, you can think she did it if you weren't there. You gotta think she did it because she could drag regular motherfuckers on YouTube.
oh my
Just
God.
well, you know, what do you
Oh
think she
my
gonna do in person? You know what I
oh
mean?
shit.
Like that's an in person thing too. Like that's just not for show. That's a
Yo,
natural thing. Like she could
and
probably do
then
that out there in the world. Use your brain, fellas. You know what I mean?
hey, listen, and then
You
so it
got
was
it
a
right
standoff.
now. You
How
know?
many? I forgot how many men? 4 or 5 hour standoff.
Yeah.
The SWAT
But you got
hit
to
Cindy.
stall them out at that point. You've already
Huh?
made your stance. You've already made your stance. You got to stall them out at that point.
Yeah, I mean, we went. Listen, I advised. She was on the phone. She's like, we're not coming out. I'm advising, don't come out. Send them,
Yeah.
because the sister runs a program. So the sister
Mhm.
had pregnant sisters in it, but I think it was maybe 1 or 2 pregnant sisters, maybe one. I think it was one pregnant sister, young lady at that time, and some babies because she helps the unhoused and
Yeah.
especially women. She's big on that. Big shouts out if you get out there, shoot that cash out to Boss Hog 355. Real shit. She really does her thing. But anyway, so
Good though,
I,
because you know how I am out here with our city. Yeah, we're here in Denver. That's all we. That's all I think about is
I know
motherfucking the
that's.
house.
I remember when you and I first hooked up, that was the instant connection because working with the sister, that's just one of many segments of society or the black community that she works with. So anyway, let me get through the story, dog. So I'm like, well, yeah, send the children out. Women and children. So she sends the women and children out. They tear gas the place, right? So the soldiers come out. Now
Mhm.
they come out and they rush. They come out with our weapons and our computers and stuff. But we Panthers, man, everything's legit. All our shit is registered. All they wanted to do was really get our computers and our hard drives. So
Mhm.
they got weapons and computers. They take now when they bring her out, we're so effective in the community, and the crowd is gathered. They bring out, they hollering, "Free Nundy, free the Panthers, free Nundy." So the police are like, "Get their asses out of here." So they got
Yeah.
to work them out.
Yeah.
Because now it's about to be an incident in the community, right?
Mhm.
So they
Yeah.
rush him out.
Okay. Riot and
Right.
protesting.
Oh my God. So I'm told as they rush them out, this is what I'm told when they get them down to the police station. And I mean, cameras are there. We got 2 county standoff. The commissioner or the chief comes in and says, "What the fuck is all this about?" And they told him, he said, "You're going to cost the city so many $1,000s for the Fourth Amendment right." Said, "Get her out of here before they tear this fucking city up and let her go." None of
Hmm.
my other comrades were charged. That's why I say when she knows her legal stuff, no charges were filed against anybody. It was just an invasion to get our hard drives and to stop the work we were doing in the community. That's why I can identify with what the BLA is saying. This stuff is real. And what happens is when we don't have that connection to like what we're watching now, we don't know how to fight or we don't have the heart to fight like we had did then and still are doing to this day, or we really are arrogant enough, another couple of things, or we're ignorant and misinformed. So we really advocate and back collaboratory positions, Uncle Tom positions, Coonan positions, even if we're conscious of it or not, we back supporting this system, going all in. We're champions of this bullshit. Or what we do is, sail completely the fuck out when we don't know the history. We become like a lot of these people on these shows that are talking about what a black man ain't. That's
Right.
because they don't know the history. They've bitten into crack a narrative and they're ashamed of their fucking self.
Yeah, very much so. I think that's a really bad thing because, in my opinion, uh, when do we stop as women? When do we stop shaming them, the man, and fucking let it go and let them build up? Why is it always got to be some fucking controversial shit? Like, if it's never gonna make a man feel good. Always being told he ain't shit, even if he ain't done shit. But
Well,
you can't keep holding them like that, like they're the fucking like the worst people on earth, man. Like they can shake that shit off. We're in 2022. Can we try
absolutely.
to take that off? You know what I mean?
And
Different
I'm even
narrative.
going so far. I'm even going so far as to resurrect the ideology of the Black Liberation Army and all Black progressive movements, which is anti-sexist. You
Right.
know, some of this shit, let's just examine. Some of the issues in our community are not really gender oriented or gender centered like that. They're not
Yep.
really that gender specific or that gender serious. Some of our issues are just Black people's issues.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
General Black people issues. I'm willing
But you
to guarantee.
sleep on some women, man. And which is crazy. You shouldn't sleep on some women that have actual a powerful voice in the community or just even in general, or the powerful message somewhere deep down in their soul. Don't sleep on that sister, man. Some of them sisters out there that I've seen in the streets, even in my own city that I'm in now, are harder than most men. Even like when I'm in the chat, I'm climbing around and stuff, whatever, and I listen to her talking, I'm laughing, I was just typing away, right? So you like, why would you want to? Like I'm like that, you know what I mean? I have my own shit, I do my own shit, but
What are you
like
talking about?
I'm
What
like
are you
that when I talk when I'm dealing with certain men, or when I'm dealing with certain people, people just underestimate the power of a woman. They might sleep on the wrong woman. That woman might be actually very effective in the community or online or whatever she's doing. But just based off of whatever, you're gonna sleep on somebody that's actually could be one of the best motherfucking leaders out there. But just
Yeah,
because you're, you know,
go ahead. I'm
We've had
sorry.
some
no,
leaders that's been females. We had, Winnie Mandela.
Man,
yeah,
listen,
but
they
no,
talked about one of their Sophia Baraka, Steppa Clark. I mean, it goes on and on. I think, like I said, I think sometimes even our saying that these females, some sisters stronger than men. No, just no, not a shot at you, dog. But I think even that sometimes can be considered sexist. Like in the Black liberation struggle, there's only strength. We don't have time for these characterizations or categorizations of women. Oh, that's not effeminate. That's not this. That man, we fighting for our fucking freedom. Whatever
you got to think
brand,
about that too. Like,
man.
just put this in there. Just put this thought out there. Maybe some of that hardness came from men, as like hey man,
There you
all I'm
go.
surrounded by is men.
I think
As
you're doing it. And listen, that's what I'm
supposedly,
keeping you. Why did this hardness have to come from? I think almost a little bit of what you're giving into now is a little bit sexist. I think
I
you're
don't know.
dividing.
Maybe I'll
Yeah,
ponder on
because
that later.
yeah, I think I don't believe in like women. They say a hard woman has masculine energy. I don't
No,
believe that. I believe that there's strong energy and there's weak energy. Then you have masculine energy and feminine energy. You
yeah,
have brothers that have plenty masculine
yeah,
energy, but are not alphas. They don't have dominant energy. Then you have plenty of women who have dominant energy. I think
yeah.
that we've allowed the patriarchal society to get us to put masculine with dominant and a not as dominant energy as feminine. And I think
Right.
that that's miscategorization. And so when we see a strong woman, we say, oh, she's trying to be a man or she got masculine energy. And, I think that that's adapting
Mm-hmm.
Eurocentric understanding because they like that dumb, dizzy, blonde shit. They like that damsel in distress shit. That motherfucker, when you running from the monster, the dumb bitch keep falling. You know what I'm saying? They like that whole shit. Brothers want to go bust back. Like, man, we got to beat Jason's ass. Where you going, baby? Get the bat. You know what I'm saying? Most
Yeah,
really, when it comes to our man and children, shit, most of us brothers are holding the sisters back. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? We have to, I think, these energies we have to define. But listen,
I think you're right on that. I'm gonna ponder on that further.
and I want to get further, but I think I'm gonna end up having to cut this short. Son, is there the debate today? Do you know? Let me check, man. You know I gotta support my league if it's a debate. Y'all already know. Does anyone know? Let me see. I think I just got some kind of notification or something. Let me check it out. Because I
Like
may have
even
not
email?
scheduled this correctly, though. We may have to. Uh, no, I don't. FBDL. Let me look and see.
How did I caught a little bit of
You
that
got it. Give
debate.
me a
The
second.
how is it? Yeah, how is it added up? How do you develop the points there? Like what's how are the points made? I stayed for
Man,
that one show.
yeah,
I was confused.
you have to check it. Yo, check it out, and I will build on it. There is a debate. Yo, let me push the plug. If you watching my thing, man, everybody shoot up Solar Vision Debate League, FBDA. I think it's Imam Bashir. I don't know who he's debating. But go check our lead out. Check out the debate league. Shout out to the debaters. I can't wait to get my butt up in there and start chopping some heads off at the shoulders. Real talk. But yeah, say, dog, can we do it tomorrow? Or if it
Yeah,
isn't too late
later whatever.
tonight,
No, yeah, I'm gonna
we
be
may.
up later. Yeah, you do whatever. Just hit me up
That's
and
right, because
message me.
you're like 3 hours behind me anyway.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I do late night. I do late night shows because I was gonna do one later anyway. Yeah, whatever you want, just hit me up. I'm gonna,
Okay.
should we
All
stop
right,
it?
so
Yeah,
we're up.
yeah. Okay, cool.
So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna shoot us over here, but definitely, man, I want Sankara, Bishop.
Yep.
Yeah, man, I appreciate you jumping on. I'm sorry I'm cutting so short before we really could get the bill going. But you like I like always, man. You know this is home, bro. So with
Yeah.
that, man, I'm no doubt. With that, I'm gonna end it. There again, shoot everybody over to Solar Vision Debate League. Let's check out the debate. Let's debate. That's my jam. Let's that
Yeah,
should be right. All right, man. We'll see y'all. All powers to oppressed people. African power to an African people and black power.
no problem.
Black Power.